Hey, how's it going everybody? This is Craig Peters here from Soundiron, and in today's video we're going to be doing some sound design with orchestral brass using our newest library, Hyperion Brass Elements. This is going to be using some of the other features that might not be traditionally looked for orchestral music, but it's really cool, especially if you want to do some sound design, trailer music, or just some different tension pulse type stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in and check out some of the things you can do using the other features within Hyperion Brass Elements. So for these examples, I'm going to be using the bass trombones from Hyperion Brass Elements, and the reason I chose this section of the brass is because they go a little bit lower than some of the other sections, and they have a really nasty kind of low growl and bite to them, especially when you get deeper down. And also for these examples, I'm going to be using the staccatissimo articulation because we're going to be doing some arpeggiation, and with the staccatissimo samples being shorter, it'll respond a little bit better as far as using the arpeggiator. So let's go ahead and just check out some of the different aspects of the library. So if we go into the arpeggiator, you can adjust the steps. So for this, let's just go ahead and we'll just do 4 steps, keep it simple. I'm going to turn the arpeggiator on. Now let's play around with the rhythm. Let's see, let's put on like an 8th note triplet. So now you can hear that the arpeggiator is working, but I want to tighten it up a little bit. I don't want it to sound like a real brass instrument. I want it to sound a little bit more synthetic. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this arpeggiator off, and let's go ahead and crank the offset. So you can see doing that already, you're starting to kind of make this tread into synth world. Now let's go ahead and turn this arpeggiator back on and see what we get. So it has a little bit more of like a droney sort of synthetic pulse. And now what I want to do is go into the space tab. Now traditionally people might use this just for the space placement of being able to place the orchestral instruments, you know, in their sections on the sound stage. But for this, one of the things you might miss is that there's a lot of really cool presets that you can use to sort of take this from that more traditional orchestral sound and really get some cool sound design ideas out of it. So let's go ahead and play through some of the different presets. So that one sounds really cool, super big reverb, and this is using the algorithmic reverb. Now let's go ahead and let's check this one out. It's called Ghost Vocals. So this one's really cool because it's got this kind of like weird haunting choir vocal behind it. It's really cool. Then also down here, if you look in the convolution impulse section, there's some different presets that you can play around with as well. This one's called Cylindrum. But let's go ahead and keep it to the Ogg one, because that one has that kind of really cool choir sound to it. Now I want to go back into the arpeggiation tab, and I want to change this from chord to in and out. And this is just so you can get some more melodic ideas going if you're playing some chordal type stuff. All right, so now I want to sound design it a little bit further. So now let's go ahead and dive into the effects tab. And here you have filtering, compression, and some different EQ. You can use this for shaping the sound, but I want to use this more as creating that kind of sweeping filter effect. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the filter. I'm going to use the Legacy LP6, and then what I want to do is turn the res down to about here or so, not too high, because I'm going to be using the cutoff and just mapping that to my mod wheel. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to learn that to my mod wheel. Now we can sort of get that sweeping filter effect. So if you want to really build some tension and have some kind of low, sort of ominous subby pulse going in the background of your track, you can do that with this. So let's go back into the space tab. I'm going to play around with some of the different presets again for the impulses. I'm going to use the Cylindrum one. So that already starting to sound pretty cool, and something that I would probably use more for just kind of getting a pulse going and maybe doing some kind of sci-fi style track. And then you can also use this for the chordal type stuff as well. All right, so there you have it, a few different ways you can do some sound design to orchestral brass using Hyperion Brass Elements and the features within it. This is something that I would probably do if I didn't want to use a synth, maybe if I was just kind of getting bored, wanting to spice things up, or I don't want to just use the synth sounds that I always use for maybe a hybrid or trailer track or something like that. So by doing it this way, you're using these organic sounds in a more synthetic way, which is going to really yield some interesting results that maybe you haven't heard before. So if you want to learn more about Hyperion Brass Elements, make sure to go to soundiron.com and check out the walkthrough and composing video in this playlist as well. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to stay up to date on future videos, and until next time, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.